Ladies and gentlemen, right now the left is currently imploding. Why? Because they know their plan to take over the government has failed. So today, what I want to do is go through their failed plan step by step to really understand just why they're all freaking out so much. Because like I just said a moment ago, right now we're all witnessing what is perhaps the most monumental progressive meltdown in our country's history. But hey, without further delay, let's just jump right into things. Now, as I'm sure you've all seen, this is the current state of the left.
We will not take this. We will fight back.
Fight back. Fight back.
And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time,
Yes.
and goddamn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war.
You hear that? As far as the left is concerned, they are currently at war with the Trump administration. So yeah, like I said, right now the left is currently having a ballistic meltdown. And here's the deal, I'll tell you guys why. For the last 9 years, they have done every single thing they could have done to try to stop Trump from getting back in the White House. And really, what that ultimately means is that they have tried everything they could to stop our voices from being heard. Because let's be honest, in a weird way, it's actually less about stopping Trump and more about stopping Americans like us from retaking America. Because that is what really scares them. That is why they're currently freaking out. In fact, you know what? Let's all do a little bit of a recap. First, it was the Russia collusion hoax. Then it was an impeachment. Then it was another impeachment. Then it was Joe Biden's miraculous win in the 2021 election. Then it was the insurrectionist narrative. Then it was the FBI raid at Trump's house at Mar-a-Lago. Then it was 34 completely bogus felony charges. Then Trump survived not one, but two very mysterious assassination attempts. So listen, when I say that Trump has made it back into the White House, literally against all odds, that's what I mean. And now I do want to say real quick, guys, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing because it actually does help a ton. But okay, guys, so all of those things, we have all conquered every single challenge that has been put in front of the MAGA movement, and now finally, we are back in the White House. Which means that the work to fix the country is finally getting back underway. And guess what? The first big step in that process is to clean out our incredibly wasteful federal budget, which is exactly what the Department of Government Efficiency is doing right at this very moment. And as I'm sure many of you all know, what's come out is that the Democrats have been using corrupt organizations like USAID to siphon off massive portions of the federal budget for their own progressive purposes. In fact, let's take a look at Trump's new press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, really break it all down.
These are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
And now, by the way, guys, you and I both know that not all of that money made its way to whatever third world progressive task it was meant to accomplish. No, in fact, most of it didn't. What we now know is that most of this money was getting shuffled around through various shell companies, ultimately ending up in the pockets of corrupt progressive politicians. So pretty much, USAID was just a slush fund for the Democrats. Go figure. They've been robbing this country blind, and only now that Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency are auditing the federal budget are we learning about it. In fact, take a look at what President Trump posted earlier this morning. USAID is driving the radical left crazy, and there is nothing they can do about it because the way in which the money has been spent, so much of it fraudulently, is totally unexplainable. The corruption is at levels rarely seen before. Close it down. And you know what? President Trump is 100% right. But guess what? The left's attempt to take over the country doesn't end there. Because I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with any of Trump's ongoing legal cases, but hey, here's a little spoiler. He's winning all of them. Take a look at this. ABC News recently agreed to pay Trump $15 million because George Slopadopoulos lied about him on national TV regarding his case with the psycho E. Jean Carroll. Mark Zuckerberg's Meta just agreed to pay Trump $25 million for wrongfully suspending his Facebook account after January 6th, violating their own terms of service. And as we speak, Paramount is in multi-million-dollar settlement talks with Trump's team because they selectively edited Kamala Harris's 60-minute interview in an effort to swing the 2024 presidential election. So, hey, once again, guys, back to my point earlier, the left has tried everything to stop this guy. The left tried to use every single dirty tactic in the book, and they still failed. And guess why? Because we all decided that it's time to put America first. We've all watched as the radical left has weaponized our justice system, siphoned off billions of taxpayer dollars, all while running our country into the ground. And then they expect us to be upset that Elon Musk has 22-year-old unvetted super geniuses working for him. Yeah, guess what, members of the left? We don't care. What we care about is fixing the country, and that is exactly what is happening right now. Every single day that goes by, the stranglehold that the progressives had on the country gets a little bit weaker. Because, hey, this was pretty much their plan. Abuse their elected office to siphon off money out of the government using programs like USAID towards various progressive humanitarian causes, which really just means black box shell corporations. Then, use that money to spread progressive propaganda throughout the country and silence anyone that disagrees with them. Sound familiar? Yeah, this is exactly how the country has operated for the last 4 years. And hey, honestly, it's a pretty good plan, although completely immoral. They probably thought that they'd get away with it forever, which explains why they're all so mad right now. And you can tell they just have no idea what to do as all of their corruption is being brought to light. Just earlier today, I saw a bunch of unhinged progressives calling Trump a fascist. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, how many fascists sought to shrink the size of the government and disempower the government? Because that's exactly what Trump is doing right now. And so once again, now that their plans are coming crashing down around them, what do? Well, they take to the streets and declare war on the federal government. Like, literally, that's actually what they're doing. These people have the emotional maturity of toddlers, and it would actually be kind of funny if the fate of the nation wasn't hanging in the balance. So really, it's just more concerning and pathetic. What's crazy to consider is that for the longest time, it was the Democrats that would scream about wasteful government spending. But now that the Republicans are the ones actually doing something about it, it's time for war. In fact, let's all be honest here for a moment. The only war that this Democratic House representative is ever having is a war with how much she can eat at an all-you-can-eat buffet. And of course, this almost goes without saying, but can you guys imagine if there were groups of Republican lawmakers gathering on the streets declaring war on the federal government? We would all never hear the end of it, but that's just because the progressive left is the pure textbook definition of hypocrisy. As you all know, the first rule of progressivism is rules for thee, but not for me, because if they ever get held to the standards that they themselves set, they would come crashing down. But guess what? The jig is up, the Patriots are back in control, and the left's attempt to take over the country has failed. And between you and me, I think that's a good thing. But hey, I think that's all I've got for you guys today with this one, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Please like the video if you liked the video. Please consider subscribing. It really does help a lot. Thank you all very much for watching. And of course, as always, stay safe.